Our weekly news show at America's Third Party focuses on news you can use, featuring stories that show you the real side of American politics. We are not the mass media. We bring you information that is vital to your survival in these tough times. I'm Jon Sponheim, and you're listening to America's Third Party News. Good evening. This week, North Korea launched what appeared to be a missile into the skies. They said it was a satellite called Dream. They said it was going to distribute propaganda to all their people. It never deployed. And in fact, it was a missile attempt. And we believe that further missile attempts should be dealt with a very strong position from the U.S. I believe we should use anti-ballistic capabilities to knock down further missile attempts. Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton telegraphed it, saying they would knock it down, but they didn't do anything. They just ignored it. I would take action. This past week, Barack Obama met with the G20 and asked for $1 trillion to be given to the International Monetary Fund. This was met with very mixed responses. The world leaders actually rejected the idea at first and were concerned about all the money being spent. These are loans going out to third world nations that will never be able to pay these loans back. This is a waste of money, and it shows that Barack Obama is trying to export his idea of giving money away as a solution to every single problem in the world. Remember, people asked for Barack Obama to get us out of the Iraq War, but this past week he asked for $83 billion to continue the war in Iraq with no clear end in sight. At America's Third Party, we've got an end in sight, and we've got a plan to get our troops home within 6 months. And we have a plan to maintain the peace and safety of the civilian population in Iraq. Barack Obama went to NATO and asked for support in fighting the war in Afghanistan. This is a terrible mistake. Pressing deeper into Afghanistan could weaken our position overall because it does risk Pakistan becoming a Taliban-ruled nation. We believe that the goal of our nation is not to push other nations into action. When he went to Turkey, he actually pretended as though we had never been at war with Islam and never will be at war with Islam. That's clearly not true. We've been fighting various sects of the Islamic world for some time now. Men have died. He's got to be more upfront with countries like Turkey. He does not need to use Turkey as a staging ground for Afghanistan. And when he met with King Abdullah, it appears that he bowed and possibly kissed his ring. This is seen by the world as a sign of weakness. This is not something that a world leader does. Barack Obama has had quite a week, so let's hear about more of what he's done. This past week, Barack Obama was in Prague, asking world leaders to begin to get rid of nuclear weapons. In theory, that's a great idea, but it's coming at a time when nations like Iran and North Korea are developing their nuclear programs, which does lead us to a destabilization of the balance of powers. So we shouldn't act quickly with nuclear disarmament. We have to act prudently and carefully. And now, Obama is talking about opening up dialogue directly with Iran. The President Ahmadinejad and he could possibly talk about disarmament and getting rid of terrorism in the world. Well, that to me is a complete mistake. We can't possibly open up dialogue with a former terrorist about terrorism and nuclear proliferation. I believe we need to work through back channels to resolve this problem with Iran. Imagine talking to a terrorist about getting rid of terrorism. Somalian pirates took over a vessel in which they captured a captain and are now at sea. Barack Obama was asked about this during a conference on housing, and he stated that he couldn't talk about anything but housing. And recently, he's just staying abreast of the information. He's not acting. I believe that we need to take action against the piracy on the open seas. We need to show the pirates that they can't do this. It's reckless. We need to take action in ways that will show all of the world that we mean business. Our Navy was formed over 200 years ago with the intent to get rid of piracy on the open seas off the Barbary Coast. We have to follow through with what we're going to do. We can't just be abreast of what's happening. We need to take measures, and show people that we can't allow terrorism of any sort to occur anywhere. So in wrap-up, this week has been very, very busy for Barack Obama. It seems that he's got a lot of people working behind the scenes, pushing his buttons and making him appear to be very active in both the world and in our economy. But what's really happening is every time he's faced with a crisis, he spends money. That is his only solution. And he waits. Whenever he doesn't have an answer, he waits for advice from his advisors. I agree that experts and advisors are necessary, but if we don't have a president who is innovative and creative and can answer questions quickly when asked, especially about piracy on the open seas, we've got a problem. And I believe that this past week has shown that Barack Obama is just groping for solutions instead of coming up with them himself. Thank you for listening to America's Third Party News. I'm Jon Sponheim, and I'm running for president in 2012. Thank you for listening to America's Third Party News. I'm Jon Sponheim, and catch me every week as I recap all of the news from around the world.